The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We will begin shortly. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Picture Your Photos Organized virtual webinar. My name is Will Crosswell, and I'm the Vice President of Service and Sales for Ardent Credit Union. And I am coming to you live from my living room, as many of you are. So thank you for joining us again. If you're with us last night or are just joining us tonight, we do apologize for the difficulties and hope to give you a better experience this evening. And at least we're all giving our Netflix or Hulu queue a break for the evening. And again, this is our first, well, now second virtual workshop, so we appreciate your patience in advance. And obviously, we know we have a lot going on in everyone's lives right now, but please know that Ardent is here for you. So if you have any additional banking or borrowing needs, please keep us in mind as we have plenty of resources to assist you in your financial efforts. Now, if you need to ask a question during the workshop, please click the questions tab and type in your question. The photo to the left is the screen of an iPad, and the photo to the right is the screen of a desktop. We'll relay the questions to Denise during the seminar. There will also be a Q&A session after the workshop. Also, we have a third person behind the curtain from our marketing group, Lisa Jacobs. She's coordinated the presentation today and may be jumping in as well. And make sure to maximize your screen so that you're able to get the full experience. So now let me introduce our speaker this evening, Denise MacMurtrie of Peace Restored Photo Organizing. So Denise grew up with a camera in her hand, particularly enamored with sunsets and landscapes. When she got married and started having children, however, life with little ones took over. I hear you there, Denise. After her kids grew up, she became a professional organizer and launched her business, Peace Restored Organizing, in 2016. Denise noticed that every client she worked with had pictures hiding in their homes. She also realized that many of her organizer colleagues didn't want to touch the photo world. So that's when Denise's love for photography and organizing came together. Taking pictures is the way we capture and revisit our memories. And so Denise helps her clients tackle that and uncover the stories behind the pictures. She helps her clients reclaim their memories, preserve and protect their photos, and provide manageable solutions to enjoy their pictures again. Denise, look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Will. And let's get the slides up. For those of you viewing the workshop from a smartphone, you'll have to swipe to the right to see the PowerPoint. Once we get this going, let's just see. Okay, you should be able to see the slides, and now okay, we should have the webcam up too now. Wonderful. Thank you everyone for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and learn a little bit about how to get your photos under control. You can see that's me, my picture there on the left, and my family on the right. They're the reason I do what I do. I really do love photos. I have always loved taking pictures along the way. And my pictures have always been pretty much in order until the digital photography became a thing. And then I noticed as I was taking care of my clients in their homes that their pictures were a mess. And I thought, I can help them because their memories, their family stories are hiding away and they couldn't even enjoy it. So I learned best practices of how I could take care of people's photos, help them get them organized. I tried a lot of different tools, and the platform that really served my clients' needs the best is a platform called Forever. So you'll see on that list, I'm a Forever ambassador, and I will be referring to that in the course of this workshop. So now let's think about your situation. It's a situation that I call photo chaos, because I found that everyone has some kind of version of photos out of order, whether it's the printed photos hiding in boxes, and especially people who are getting ready to downsize. They want to get their photos organized for if they're moving, to have a smaller footprint. Digital devices, pictures on computers, old laptops, old phones, hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, you name it, trying to get a handle on it and find those pictures again. And then there's 5,000 pictures on your phone. It would be great to regain that space, but also to be able to find the picture you're looking for when you want to. So I'm going to ask you to answer the question, what do you need help with this evening? You'll see there's a poll. If you can answer the question, printed photos, digital photos, or maybe both. How are we doing with the poll?
Denise, this is Lisa.
Yes.
And it looks like the majority of our guests are looking to organize both digital and printed photos
Okay.
at 75%, and both 13% digital and then 13% printed only.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that's pretty balanced, I would say. So we're going to be going over both, and we're going to start with talking about what it means to save your photos, to preserve your photos, and then we'll go into organizing them. So let's see, do you see my screen again?
Yes, we see your screen.
Okay, wonderful. All right, thank you. Okay, so this is where we're going for tonight. What it means to safeguard your photos, practical steps to get them organized, the different levels of organization, especially when it comes to that digital issue. And then we're going to touch on ways that you can easily share or enjoy your photos, because after all, the real goal is not to have the most beautifully organized photo collection, but rather you want to be able to enjoy looking through your memories. One little caveat: the photo world has become extremely technical, and everybody is in a different place with regard to their level of comfort with technology. So maybe you're very comfortable and you've tried a bunch of different tech tools and it comes very easily to you. On the other hand, maybe it's very overwhelming. So what I really want to encourage you is let tonight be a starting point. So you kind of have a roadmap of where you're heading, both with your printed and your digital. And we can always take this conversation further after the workshop tonight if you have specific questions that are really pertinent to your own situation. So we're going to begin by talking about saving your photos. And what does it mean that your photos are safe? Well, this is a really simple, workable definition that I like to use, is that your photos are going to be there whenever you want to access them. And that means that your printed photos are going to, if they, we don't want them damaged by fire, flood, catastrophes, right? Mold or heat damage could come from right within your house. And then fading or deterioration, which happens over time. And then on the digital end of things, your devices can be damaged or lost. You could be subject to file corruption or crashes on your computer or hard drive. And then we all know that we can fall prey to outdated technology. And that would be awful if you had a flash drive of photos that you plug into a future computer and that computer can't read those files and you don't have access to those pictures. So we want to be able to safeguard against any of those happening where you would lose access to those photos. So when we talk about printed photos and how to protect your printed photos, honestly, I would say once they're organized, plan to have them scanned. Because if anything were to happen to those printed photos, you would have a scanned version. And we're going to talk a little bit about scanning later to give you some guidelines on that. But that's really what we have in mind. So we're organizing the pictures in order to scan at least the very best pictures, the favorites that we have. Then we don't want to get rid of those favorite photos. We want to protect them in archival quality storage. So there you see on the slide some archival quality boxes. And the 3 companies that I have personally used are, first of all, Archival Methods. They have materials for all kinds of photos and memorabilia needs. And then the Container Store has a few quick options for storing your photos. And then those boxes that you see in the picture come from my favorite company, Native Archival. I just love how sturdy those boxes are. What makes boxes archival instead of something that could damage the quality of the prints? Well, they don't have any chemicals in them. So if your photos are currently in plastic bins or boxes that have any kind of chemicals, then they are subject to have a damaging effect on the prints, on the colors, on the integrity of the paper. Now, what about albums? Well, first of all, albums take up a lot of space, and a lot of my clients, they want to get out of the albums and consolidate their footprint. But if you like your photo albums and you want to be able to keep them, what I would ask you to do is take them off the shelf or wherever you have them and look through and make sure, take some pictures out of the albums and make sure that the integrity of the pictures have not been compromised. Because what we thought were safe albums, we found that the glue, the plastic, the materials that were used in albums from way back 80 years ago until fairly recently, that they were not as safe as we thought. So my recommendation as a photo organizer is to get all of the pictures out of the albums, get your favorites scanned, and then store them in a photo safe archival quality box. So that would be my recommendation for printed photos. Now, what about protecting your digital photos? Well, you have 2 real options here. You've got the external hard drive so that you keep that locally. And then you have cloud storage online. And so if you're going to use an external hard drive, the benefit to that is because you have it right there local. It's just about plugging it into your computer. But hard drives can crash. And so we actually recommend backing up and having at least 2 external hard drives with the same photos backed up so that if one goes, you have that other copy. And then the other option, of course, is to take that hard drive and back it up into your cloud storage. Now let's talk about the cloud, right? The cloud, online digital storage space so that it's not in your home. You need the internet to be able to access it. And we have lots of different choices. So take a little drink. Lots of different choices here too. These are the biggest names in cloud storage, right? And then there are lots of others. What I would recommend to you, please, is choose wisely. Read your terms of agreement, because it's just so easy when we sign up for something, we just click that little box because that's the only way that we're going to get into that platform, and we don't read what we're signing up for. And when it comes to our photos, our memories, we may not realize that there's a little hitch down the road that might be devastating. So any cloud storage that's subscription-based, you have access to those pictures as long as you keep paying for it. You don't own it, it's like you're renting it. And that you might be fine with that, but just know that you have to keep paying in order to have access to your pictures. Many companies they say in the terms of service, they'll tell you right there that they have the right to delete the content because you don't actually own it. And so they could delete it without letting you know. And that has happened, especially with smaller companies that didn't last. Again, we just want to choose wisely. Doesn't happen as much anymore, but there are still companies out there that hold your photos hostage where you store them for free and then you have to pay in order to get them back. Some store the optimized version instead of the full image of the original. You don't want to lose quality, so just double check and make sure that the pictures being stored in your cloud service are the full original version. And then finally, one thing that's pretty common, especially among free companies, is companies will data mine. They'll extract information, personal information from your photos, and then sell it to other companies. So another feature for me to feel like my pictures or my clients' pictures are safe is that they have to be private and they have to be permanent, because I don't want to lose access to my pictures at any time. So after doing a lot of research and trying out some different platforms, the one that I really stand by is Forever. Forever is a company that was developed with legacy, privacy, and permanence in mind. The purpose is so that you can pass your pictures down to future generations, and they have the Forever guarantee, which is that your pictures will be accessible 100 years or more after your passing. So that it's really about legacy. And in order to make that promise, you have to be able to migrate from one format, digital format, to another, so that when JPEGs, which is the most common file format that we have, when that goes away, then Forever will automatically migrate to the newest format. And they're set up, their company is set up like an endowment to be able to ensure that all of those pictures will be safe and permanent. The other thing that I really love about it is very user-friendly for my clients, so that they're not completely dependent on me, but rather I can teach them how to organize their pictures or do whatever they want to do with their pictures in their Forever account if they want, and then they take it away. So it's, you know, it's about your pictures and you having control and access as much as you need to. And then they're also very easy to share with family and friends. So Forever has everything from their permanent storage to the capacity to make photo books. They have media conversion for videos and slides and all of that. So they're everything about photos and memory. So that's why I've settled on them after quite a search. All right, so this is what we've talked about regarding saving your photos. You will receive a printable resource with all of this information. If you're taking some notes, go ahead and take your notes, but this is a lot of words on one slide. But I just want to pause here and just review that for printed photos, plan to scan, use archival quality boxes, and check out those photo albums. And then for digital photos, you've got external hard drives or cloud services, or both, which you can always use a combination of both. So Lisa, do we have any questions coming in the chat yet?
So far, we do not have any questions coming through. But again, if you do have a question, you can just click the questions tab on your dashboard, type it in, hit send, and we will communicate your questions to Denise.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, let's talk about getting organized, because that's really what this is going to be focusing on. So as a professional organizer, I like my definitions to be very, very simple and easy. So this is what I've always used. You can find what you want when you want it easily. I know a lot of other organizers who use a similar definition, and I think that for me, easily is key, because you can look for something for 10 minutes. It's a little stressful, but I want to make it easy for you. So what does that mean for finding our photos easily? Well, there are different layers of organizing our pictures. And so you'll see here we have the first layer would be sorting, just sorting through the pictures, and then getting into categories. Well, I'll define what sorting means very shortly. Getting into categories, and then putting information on the digital files themselves, the digital photos themselves. So that would be the date, the file name, the tags or the keywords, those two are used interchangeably. Citing your favorites, your favorite photos, and then adding descriptions, which is the story behind the photo, and being able to add that to your photos. So these are the different layers of organization that we're going to be talking about in the course of the next few minutes. So let's visit printed photos first. Okay, what's the first step? Well, you want to go throughout your home and find all those pictures in boxes, hiding in the back of closets, or in attics or basements, garages, photos stuffed in drawers, wherever you have your pictures. Gather them together and bring them to one place. And I like to have like a big table set up. You can set up it on the dining room table or whatnot. And then here are the very simple supplies that you need. Sorting boxes. These are not the boxes you're storing them in, right? These are boxes that your bins or boxes that you're going to just sort the photos. You want to be able to have them all easily accessible as you go through the process. And then the next important piece would be having large index cards. These become your information cards. These are a vital part, especially as we move into, getting them scanned. We want to capture as much information about these pictures. So writing it on the card, we'll look at that in a second. And then I like to have some sticky notes if I'm going to put some notes on the back of an individual photo. I'm either going to put a note on the back through a sticky note, or I'm going to use a pen that has archival ink. So you'll see those pens there are all archival quality pens. And then I like to wear cotton gloves because I don't want to get fingerprints on my pictures or my clients' pictures. That's your choice. Then those other two things in the picture there, that's for removing from albums, especially the sticky magnetic albums that the pictures are hard to get out of. And I like that little multi-purpose tool from Creative Memories, or dental floss tape. Believe it or not, helps me to get pictures out of albums. But if you don't have to worry about that, then you can skip those couple of things. So once we get set up, you want to be able to take the pictures out of the envelopes or out of albums, or if you just have a conglomerate of loose photos and you want to kind of like put them into some categories of piles, use the index card to write any information that you might find written on that envelope, any information about that album, such as the date. If you don't know exact dates, that's okay. Go with years, go with seasons, go with decades, that's okay. Any names of people. So I do like to write that on the backs of photos if I can, or if you have just a lot of pictures that are, of a group of people, that you can just write that on the index card. Any events or places, locations that you want to save that information, and then take the stack of those pictures, put it behind that information card, and you're going to line it up in one of your sorting boxes. Now, you don't have to have them in chronological order at this point. If that's easy for you, go ahead, but you just want to be able to have it lined up so that you can get through those pictures and sort through them using a method called the ABCs of photo organizing. This was developed by Kathy Nelson, the founder of the Association of Professional Photo Organizers. And this is a pretty widely used method because it's very simple. Take another sip. Okay, and here we go. The ABCs of photo organizing. A is for album. As you go through your pictures, you're going to say to yourself, is this an A, a B, or a C? Is this an album photo? My favorite photo? The best of the best? The photos that tell the story. I look at that picture and I think, wow, I can just picture being back there and I can remember what happened when that picture was taken. That's an A photo. These are the pictures that you want to revisit, that you want to put in a photo book or have it framed or put in a photo slideshow. These are the photos that you definitely want to have scanned. So A is for album, B is for box. These are the pictures that they're not your favorite, but you don't want to throw them away either. You want to keep them. Do you digitize them? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But it's good to have them at least stored in a box, right? So A is for album, B is for box, C is for can. And as Kathy says, yes, you can throw your photos in the can, which for some people might feel a little bit uncomfortable throwing pictures of great Aunt Ruth away in the trash can. But these are the pictures that don't really mean anything to you. They're bad pictures, they're blurry. You might not know the people in them. Why keep pictures if you don't even know who's in them? Remember decades ago when we used to take our film to get processed and for just a couple dollars more, we could get doubles or triples? Well, now those pictures are only taking up space. So even if it's an A photo, you can throw away the duplicates. You only need one, right? Travel and landscape photos. Well, if you heard in the beginning when Will was introducing me, I love taking landscape photos as a teenager. I had more pictures of sunrises than I even want to admit. But I have to tell you, I don't have that many now. It's the pictures with the people. It's the pictures with the memories that mean the most. So all of these pictures you can definitely toss in the trash, not the recycling, because of the chemicals in the photo paper. But you want to pare down your collection and get rid of the pictures that really are only just taking up space. So let's talk a little bit about scanning. To have your pictures professionally scanned is really worth the investment. Can you scan your pictures yourself? Yes. And I'd be happy to give you a few little tips about that if you want to hear. But if you use a scanning service, go somewhere where they really know what they're doing with your pictures. Have your picture, you can talk to an actual person who's going to do it. Put your pictures in order and ask them to scan the information card as well. And you can also ask them if they would scan the backs of the photos, if they would do that. Now, a lot of places charge per print, and so that could get a little pricey. I don't charge per print because it's more important for me that my clients have the information. So try to find somebody that you can work with on this. But of everything, the most important thing to remember is for the best quality for scanning your pictures, ask for 600 DPI. That's DPI is dots per inch. This is the most technical piece of information I'm going to give you tonight, I think. But most places that have like an economy scanning, they're going to scan at 300 DPI. You're not going to have the crispness. It's not going to gather as much information as you would with 600. So the quality of your image could be compromised. Now, if you want to scan your A photos at 600 and your B photos at 300, go for it. That's frequently what I recommend to my clients. But I would definitely have your A photos scanned at 600 DPI. Let's see, was there anything else? Forever does do scanning, and they have an excellent scanning service if you wanted to consider them, and you can actually talk to the people there. You can write notes. They will make sure that it's white glove premium service. So that's another option for you. Okay, so we've just covered a lot. Organizing your printed photos. We had our list of supplies and the steps to gather your pictures, get them ready for sorting, go through the ABCs of photo organizing, scan your A photos at 600 DPI, and then store all those photos in archival quality boxes. And there you have the ABCs of photo organizing listed there. And again, you will receive this information. So I'll pause here and ask Lisa any questions in the chat.
Yes, we actually do have a couple questions, Denise.
Great.
Our first question is, what's the cost to use Forever? How much does it cost the user?
So it depends on how much storage space you want to purchase. So I'll just give you an example of, it seems like a lot at first because you're purchasing it, but there's not a subscription. So 10 gigabytes of storage is $200 or $20 a month for 1 year. 1 year only. After the 12th payment, then you own it. I mean, you own it from the beginning, but the prices, the more you purchase, of course, the more economical it is. And they always run deals, special deals, like 20% off or 30% off. So I try to, if I know my clients are looking for storage, then I'll encourage them if I know of any deals that are on the horizon. So I hope that that answers your question, but you do own it. And so that if you stretch that out over 50 years, then it's a very economical cost. What else, Lisa?
So our next question is about negative photos. And if you have any advice on how to organize these negative photos, what do you do with them, especially when there's duplicates?
So you're saying negative photos. Negatives were used, right, to produce the photos. And so there is a big question. Thank you for that question. It's a great question. What do you do with your negatives?
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Is
do you
there
want to
more clarification? The guest says no negatives of the photos.
Yes, the negatives of the photos. Great, it's a great question. So you have your photos, you want to keep those photos. The negatives in the photo organizing world, the negatives are your original of that image, right? That has the most amount of information. So it is recommended to save your negatives. And again, Archival Methods was the company that I showed you earlier. They have storage for the negatives. Now, I have to admit that many clients do not want to save the negatives. So that's really a personal choice. But it is recommended that you save the negative as another version of your picture if anything were to happen to the picture. So, you know, it seems a little ambiguous, a little bit nebulous, but how do we do with that?
Great. So
okay?
Another guest is asking, how much does it cost to typically scan your photos?
So scanning rates range from anywhere from, for 600 DPI, let's be clear about that. The lowest rate that I've seen for that is 50 cents a scan. And it can go up to $1 a scan. I've seen higher than that, but I wouldn't use them. Now that's for your standard size photo through 8 by 10. If you have fragile pictures, large pictures that need a flatbed scanner, then that could run you quite a bit. I've seen $10 a scan for those. Again, I charge an hourly rate because I don't want my clients to feel like they can't scan their pictures because it's too expensive, because it can get pretty pricey if you have 1,000 pictures.
We have one more question. Our guest is asking how to organize slides.
Yes, how to organize slides. So slides are another animal. And I have to say, I do not currently scan slides into digital images, and they can get really pricey. To organize them, again, I have to give another plug for Archival Methods because they're one of the few companies that still have this, that there are pages that you can put the slides in if you want to keep them in pages, which is recommended. It's a recommended way of storing them. But really the key, I think, that you're asking is you can store and organize your slides. You really want to go through those slides and see what the pictures are of, and then have the digital scans done of those favorite images. And so what I would do is, now I have a light box, but if you have a way of viewing the slides, and there are lots of different ways to do it, but just even holding it up to the light or taking like a frosted glass and putting it over a light and being able to see what the slides are of, and then use that ABC method to try to figure out which slides are worth saving and possibly printing, but just definitely saving in a digital format. How's that? Are we good?
Yes, we are good to move forward.
Okay. Wonderful. Really good questions. Now we get into the digital world. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, this is a more complicated process, right? And again, depending on your comfort level with technology, so we're just going to get you started. The first thing we want to do is to create a digital library. So we want all of your pictures, all of your digital pictures together in one place. So do what you did with the prints and go through your home and gather all, whoops. Sorry about that. I'm not sure how that happened. Okay, and gather all of your devices, your flash drives, hard drives, old cell phones, photo CDs, anything that has a picture on it, and you want to bring it together. And then if you want, you remember we've got the two ways to bring those into a digital library. One is through the external hard drive, and the one is through the cloud storage. So looking at our external hard drive, get in it and have a clean external hard drive, nothing on it. A minimum of 1 terabyte is what I've found works best because we have a lot of digital images and you don't want to run out of space. This is a picture of my actual family photos hard drive. So I've labeled it so that I know that nothing else goes on here except for my photos. And you're going to format it to your platform, whether it's Windows or Mac. And then you're going to go in and set up folders. Now, I like to set up the folders in chronology, so by decades and then by years. And then you'll see, let me see if I can have this little tool. This is going to work. Okay, you'll see here that we have a to sort folder. And that's going to be the folder that you're going to dump all of your digital images before you start sorting them and organizing them. So the process will be, you're going to use a computer as your central hub. You're going to connect your external hard drive and open up a window and then connect each individual device. And I will tell you, this does take time. Connect each device, open up a window for that individual device so that it's clear, and then bring up all of the photos within that device. That's going to be all of your JPEGs, your PNGs, your TIFFs, all of your video formats, your MOV, MOV4, all of that. And you're going to highlight those and then drag them into your to sort folder. This can take some time depending on how many photos and how long it takes to be able to get from copied over into that external hard drive. If you have scanned photos, they usually come back on a flash drive. Again, plug that in and dump them in the to sort folder. We'll touch on this later, but all of your digital images, all of your digital files have what we call metadata. The metadata is all of the information about that image. And one of the pieces of information is the date that that picture was taken. And that's a really important date. And that's how you can determine, the order of pictures. The only pictures that are not going to have that date taken, of course, are the scanned photos. They're going to have the date that they were scanned. So we'll talk a little bit about that later, how we can adjust for that. But right now, let's look at the process. So that's the first process for external hard drive. You just want to get it all in there, in that to sort. For cloud storage, this is within Forever, right? You just tell Forever you want to upload pictures, and then this screen will appear, and you're just going to go through, instead of having to drag and drop and all, you're going to go through the same process of connecting a device and then telling Forever where to find those pictures, and it'll upload it. One thing about in Forever is that it will automatically put all of your pictures in order according to the date taken, which is a great feature that it does it automatically. For phones and tablets, you just download the Forever app. And then using this button here, back up this phone. You just click that and it will automatically pull all of the pictures and videos right from your phone. It takes some time depending on how many pictures you have, but you don't have to hunt them down and find them. And if you have other apps besides your photo app, wherever pictures are, it'll pull those pictures and put it into your Forever account. And then moving forward, you can tell the app to automatically upload pictures, or you can do it manually, so that whenever a picture comes into your phone, it'll automatically go into your storage account. So once you have, I feel like we've just gone through this very quickly for a process that really takes a while. So the goal again is to have all of your pictures in one place so that then you can get them organized. Along the way, whether you want to do it as soon as you get all those pictures in and you want to go through all those pictures and do this like and delete process, or if you do this at another point along the way as you go through pictures and categorize, it's fine. But rather than having the ABCs of photo organizing, we just really have keep or delete. We don't have to worry about the AB, at least not yet, depending on if you want to take it to that level. But use the same criteria that we did for the C photos to delete those pictures, because after all, it's very different from having 36 pictures on a roll of film to being able to take unlimited pictures on our phone. We could have a lot of pictures of the same thing. So be ruthless and delete. It will make it easier for you later. Okay, so I want to show you, whether you're using Forever or any other cloud storage, you're going to have one central place where they're going to show you all of those pictures. And in Forever, this is our library. And think of the library just like a library of books, right? You have the library building and all those books are in there. And so this is the same idea. Your library of photos, all the pictures live in that library. But they're not really organized. Now, they could be arranged by date, and that's great, but we want to take it, we want to organize it. We want to have categories. So here we have, this is the library shot, and we're going to go to the next screen, and now you're going to see albums. These are digital albums. And the beautiful thing about this is you can have one picture from your library living in multiple albums. So you can set your albums up in whatever category works according to the way you think. A lot of people like chronology. So here you'll see my family photos. We have these albums according to year, because I like chronology. But then we have this other category that I call adventures. These are the trips that my family and I have taken. And that to me is a category to revisit. Then my daughter Amanda has her own album, and Danielle has her own album. So all of the pictures from 2020 that are of Danielle are in both the 2020 album and her album, because this is the way I want to sort and categorize these pictures in order to revisit and enjoy them. Now we take it on a deeper level with what Forever calls nested albums. So we've just gone inside Danielle's album, and she is also an artist, and she sends me pictures of her artwork. So I have an album that's just for her artwork, just for her kitties. She sends me lots of pictures of her cats. And then these are all the other pictures that don't have a particular category, that's just in Danielle's album. So that's a way to further divide and have a deeper level of organizing. It's sort of like, the books in the library have their individual bookcases, bookshelves, and then further dividing into deeper categories. So same kind of idea. Now, this might be enough for you. You might create your digital library and bring all of your pictures together. go through them and then just sort them into categories, into digital albums or folders or whatever your system is. And that might be enough, and that's fine. But I'm going to show you a little bit deeper level where we really focus on the metadata of each individual picture. And with that, we add this next category called tags. Now, some programs, some platforms call it keywords, same idea. And these are tags that are attached within the file, the digital file of each picture, the tags that I want to, the category that I want to attach to that picture, so that, for example, if I have an album of 2020 memories, and I don't want Uncle Joe to have his own album, but I want to know where I can find him, and I know I have pictures of him from 2020, but I also know I have pictures of him from 2010, then I can have a tag, Uncle Joe, attach it to those files, and I can just click on that tag and pull up all of the pictures of Uncle Joe. So that's another way, another layer of organization. Another one is favorites. And so you'll see there's a little heart here, and I can just tag all my favorites. These are like your A photos. This is why we don't really have to do, we don't do A, B, C with digital, but hearting our photos, favoriting them, so elevates that picture to an A picture. I like it when we do some kind of a little photo shoot and I can pick out which of those 60 pictures that my daughter took of her sister for graduation, which ones I like the best, because I can't look at 60 pictures, but everyone is special, right? So easy to keep all those digital images. All right, going still at that deep level, right? The individual information that is attached to each file. So this gives you a look at, this is a picture of Danielle when she was 2. And there's a story attached to this picture. Every time I look at it, I think of that moment, I think of that story. And so this, when I pull up this picture in Forever, this is all the metadata that Forever is showing me. Now there's a lot more metadata that exists, but the average person doesn't need any more information than what's right here. So here we have our favorites, and then this light blue, this is the file name. So you'll notice that a lot of your digital images are going to have something like IMG 0368. And that doesn't mean anything. So you can change the file name, you can batch change the names, or you can just change individual names right here so that that file has that special name. And then this description area is for stories that you want to record, because again, Forever is about legacy. And so 50 years from now, I won't be here, but Danielle will be able to know this story and share this story about this picture in the future. So I don't do this with a lot of my pictures, but if there's a story and I want to capture it, I have the ability to do that. And that becomes part of the metadata. And there's no limit on how many words I can add. So I can write as much as I want and know that that will still be there. And then we have the date taken. And this is where, for your scanned images, like this one, I had to change the date. Now, I didn't really know the exact date, but I knew that it was 1994, and I knew that it was somewhere in the spring. So I just gave it March 1st, and that's close enough. And then just to show you here, this is the tag, the only tag that's on it, and down here we have all of the albums. I didn't copy all of that, but all of the albums that this one picture is stored in. So these are the deeper levels of organization. This may be way too much for you right now, and that's okay. But knowing that it exists and knowing that it's possible, and whether you use Forever or you use another tool, then at least you understand what makes deeper levels of pictures organized. Okay, so this is our summary. Just spent a lot of time with these digital pictures. We're using an external hard drive or cloud storage or both in order to create our digital library. And then we want to organize the digital library once they're all together. by sorting our photos, keeping or delete, moving photos into digital albums or categories or folders, whatever your system is, and then taking that into nested albums so that you can even further organize to be able to find what you need when you need it. And then if you want to include information about each photo, we've got the tags, favorites, file names, dates, and description. Okay, Lisa, how are we doing with questions coming in?
Hi. We have some questions. So one of our guests is asking, what if you have a tool like iPhoto? Should you use that to sort your photos since it already has most of the dates on there? Or would you recommend to create an additional file folder like the one you've shown?
So if you want to use iPhoto as your platform, if you want to use the Apple system, then if that works for you and you want to do that, you go right ahead. If you take photos out of that system, not all of the information may come with you, such as tags or keywords. It doesn't necessarily become part of the metadata. So I mean, if you use that system and that's working for you, then you can set up. They have a way to set up the albums, the digital albums, and to be able to categorize. And does that answer the question?
I believe so. And then we have one more question about Forever and if it removes duplicates.
Excellent question. So Forever does remove duplicates automatically if it's the same file name. If pictures have been put on different devices and the names have changed, then it doesn't necessarily remove the duplicate. I will be honest with you and say that that's the one feature of Forever that is not where I want it to be as a photo organizer. I gotta be honest. So what I do for my clients is I run their pictures through a deduplicator in order to, and I can give information about that if they wanted to do that. It's not expensive to run it, but it's done outside of the Forever system. I don't want to get too technical because it can get really overwhelming very quickly. And my goal is to restore peace, not cause stress.
Another question we have is, with Forever, you talked about photo sharing, and how would that work if you want to share your photos with your family members?
Oh yes, it's so easy. It's so easy. There are two different ways to do it. First of all, if you have a family member that also has a Forever account, and it could be a free account, because we can talk about the free account at the end. But if your family member has a free account, then you can list them in your friends and family, and then they would have access to all of your pictures that you designate are for friends and family. So you set up those digital albums according to whether you want them private, public, or just for friends and family. So you can, if you want your spouse or your kids to see all of your collection, then that's automatic. If you just want to send a digital album or send a couple of pictures, all you do is share it. There's a share button and you just send it. And what you're actually sending is a link to those pictures in your Forever account. So when they view it, they're viewing it in your Forever account. If they want to download it, they can do that. Or if you want to download a picture and send it, then you can do that too. It's very, very easy. In fact, they've made it very easy to share pictures on Facebook, get pictures off of Facebook. They're really trying to make all of the common ways that we want to share our pictures as easy as possible.
All right, and that was our last question for right now.
Okay, wonderful. We are just going to touch on being able to share and enjoy your pictures. Because again, we can have great organization in our pictures, but we want to be able to enjoy our memories. So some of the ways that we can enjoy our pictures is creating photo projects, some of which we see here in photo books, photo calendars, cards, canvas prints, acrylic prints, metal prints. They do all kinds of things at Forever, but there are all kinds of ways. You can also set up your pictures as a slideshow, to be able to, a digital slideshow on your computer or device, to be able to enjoy those pictures that way. One tool that I use that I really love, that's not a Forever product, but it's by a company called Nixplay, Nixplay, and it's a digital frame that they have different models, but the ones that I like are wireless. They have Wi-Fi capability, so that you can give grandma a Nixplay frame and you can set up a playlist from your phone or computer and take pictures today, and grandma will see those pictures on her Nixplay frame, even if she's across the country. So I really like that frame, and I've used that and recommended that to my clients. But my absolute favorite way to enjoy my pictures, and that I recommend most, are through photo books. And photo books, if you don't know or if you're not familiar, it's like a modern photo album. The photo albums take up a lot of space, and you just put one picture in each photo album. And photo books have a clean look. They're condensed, and you can duplicate them. You can create, multiple copies to send to people. The people get stuck with photo books because they think it's overwhelming. And so very, very simply, think of it like this. You want to take your pictures and enjoy them. So what pictures do you want to enjoy? What story do you want to tell with your pictures in a photo book? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a work of art. It could just be in order to enjoy those pictures, right? So we want to decide on a focus. And one way is for chronological. If you have, your last 10 years of photos, or a family photo book for the past year, people do different things that way. If you want to show the story of your vacation or a family reunion, create a photo book. But a lot of people don't think about this, is just a random photo book. And that's like finding a box of photos somewhere in your house that are just kind of random pictures that were collected. And, you kind of go through that box of photos, lingering over one picture, zipping through a few others. It's just fun to go through the pictures. So go ahead and put them in a book. It doesn't have to be in order. Or you can have loose categories within the book. Like, it's just a book of family favorite pictures, and set it up that way. So there doesn't have to be the pressure of having it look perfect, because in the words of Sheryl Sandberg, done is better than perfect, because we want to enjoy those pictures. So again, I'm going to just share with you, Forever has 3 different platforms to create photo books. And you'll see here, down here, this artisan. This is for the digital scrapbooker. This is for the person who loves creating scrapbooks or photo books with full control, changing the sizes of the pictures and the fonts and the colors. And in the end, it's a work of art. And it usually takes a little while to create that book. But if it gives joy to create it, then go for it. It's an excellent, excellent platform. Then there's design and print. And these have the templates, so you have colors and themes, but it's kind of a drag and drop situation, like a lot of other photo book companies. Super simple. You can really get a photo book completed in a night with design and print. And then for super fast, we have auto books. And what you would do here is you take all of your pictures, put it into a digital album in your Forever account, put it in the correct order that you wanted, and click a button. And in seconds, it creates this book. And you can rearrange things a little bit if you want, but you could have a book done in an hour. So the idea is that you want to be able to enjoy your memories. And this is one way to do it, as well as others, right? So if you want to try out Forever, you can use the link that's here to open a free 2 GB account. And they would also, once you confirm through your email, then you would receive normally a $10 coupon. you were to do it by tomorrow, you'd get a $15 coupon to apply to a photo book or towards your storage, whatever you wish to purchase. And if the coupon is good for 60 days. So we will make that link available to you, or here we go. There's just all of my contact information and the link again. But I hope that it's a little bit clearer, the process of how to get your pictures organized and have some ideas to turn them into tangible ways to enjoy your memories. So Lisa, I don't know how we're doing on time at this point, but do we have time for questions? And do we have questions?
We do. One of our guests is asking if you could repeat how much Forever costs the user.
So it depends on the amount of storage you're purchasing. And if you go onto forever.com, you can see the list. So if you wanted 10 gigabytes, it's $200. 25 gigabytes is $400. I don't have the price list memorized, but then you can also break it down into 12 monthly payments if that's more affordable to get started. And then we also, Forever also has deals. And so, no, I know that they're running something right now. I think it's 40% off the price of the storage account for a one-time payment. I think that's either today or tomorrow. So it's all on their website, forever.com, and you can certainly reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you if you're interested.
And we have a couple more coming in, Denise.
Okay.
Just from one of our guests, should you organize on your computer first and then upload to Forever, or do you upload and then organize in Forever?
Excellent question. If you want an external hard drive to have your pictures locally, and this could really open up a can of worms, so I'm going to keep it really simple. If you want the pictures on the hard drive, then go through those steps and bring all of your pictures onto a hard drive first. Then you can just load them into your Forever account. If you load the pictures into your Forever account from your computer, if you do that first, then it's a more time-consuming process. Once in Forever or any cloud storage, once pictures are in that online cloud storage, it's more time-consuming to get them back down into an external hard drive. So if you want them in both places, put them in the hard drive first, and then put them into that to sort folder. In fact, you don't even have to set up folders if you don't want to. Bring them all into the external hard drive. You have copies of all of your pictures then on the hard drive, and then just load them into Forever. The one caveat is that you load them into Forever in batches of, 100 or 200. Don't do the whole thing because it wouldn't be able to handle that. No cloud storage would be able to handle that kind of an upload. So, but that's how I've done it for my clients actually. Get it on the hard drive, we deduplicate if we need to deduplicate, and then we load it into Forever. Great question.
Thanks, Denise. And now okay.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Denise. Excellent info, great presentation. I know we had some more questions, so a couple ways where you can reach out to Denise. I know she had her slide up there where her email is denise@peacerestoredorganizing.com. Also, we will send out a survey, so please take it. Tell us how we did tonight, and we'll pass on her info to you as well as whatever questions you may have. So again, we thank you for joining us virtually this evening. And we hope you attend our next workshop, which is on May 7th, which is how to drive away with your best car deal with our auto concierges, Steve and Pete. So again, thank you guys for joining us. Denise, thank you for joining us, and stay well.